Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Ryan Dins, and on this episode, we're going to talk about what's on everybody's mind right now, and that's inflation. What is going on with this inflation right now? But before we do that, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, because I'm going to be giving you finance tips every single week, so let's go! Woo! Basically, the Fed is trying to tell people inflation is somewhere in the 2 to 3% range. And that's because they are using an old, outdated method that by design is to make it look like it's not bad. But they're not using inflation in the sense that affects us. What is going up the most? Anybody can see. It's food, entertainment, cars, rent, real estate. Everything is going up. And they're trying to say it's going up 2 to 3% a year. From my calculations, from what anybody can notice, it's around 10% a year. And that's even being conservative. Just one example is when I was snowboarding in the 90s, lift tickets used to be $50. They're $240 now. That's not an exaggeration. It costs $240 to go snowboarding one day. It's like $200 to go to Disney World now. It's just completely out of control. You can't do anything fun without spending so much money. And then people point their fingers and say, oh, you have lived these luxuries, trying to be like an Instagram star. No, we're just trying to do things that we used to do in the 90s that weren't expensive. And then everyone says you're living, well above your means when you do these things. Just for example, right now, one of my friends is rent controlled in Los Angeles. When you're rent controlled, it means they can only raise your rent a very small, like 1% a year. And one of my friends, he lives in an apartment and he's paying like $2,300 rent to live 4 houses from the ocean in LA in a 3-bedroom. Now, if you want that same apartment, it's $6,000. So he's still paying the low amount because he's rent controlled by law, can't go up. But if you wanted a new apartment and you wanted to move into his neighborhood, you now need $6,000 for something that costs you a little over $2,000 in about 2008. That hasn't been that long of a time. That's 13 years. So in the last 13 years, rent has tripled. Have wages tripled? No, wages have probably gone up 20, 30% maybe. Because of this, we're seeing a massive homeless problem in lots of places, particularly where I live in California. The homeless crisis is completely out of control. And what does the government do? They say, oh, well, the stock market's on fire, everything's great. And that's true. Because what we're doing right now, we're printing trillions of dollars. We're giving a very small amount of it to the people. The rest of it is going to these major corporations who, by the way, don't pay taxes in the first place. And then we take the money that we're given by the government and then we buy things from these corporations. So this is all designed to shrink our money as well as help corporations go up. Because what has happened in America is the corporations are now completely owning the government. It's always been that way. It's always been kind of corrupt, but now it is just completely out of control. They're printing money and they're acting like there's no consequences. The inflation it really is about 10% a year. It might even be closer to 15% if you count the last year. So it's kind of scary. There's a few ways to hedge it. I personally own some crypto. I'm about to buy some gold. And another way that you can hedge against this is my channel is called Dividend Stock Mastery, and I talk about dividend stocks that you should be buying. And a good way to hedge against this is to continue to buy these dividend stocks, because I've noticed that the government is completely rigging everything so that these corporations do well. And if these corporations continue to do well, the stock markets continue to go up. If you have your money in your bank account right now, you're going to see that money shrink a lot. But if you have your money in these stocks, they're probably going to continue to go up at least 15 to 20% a year. If you follow my channel, you'll get 20% a year. This is an entertainment channel, this is an investment advice, but I have been gaining over 20% a year on autopilot, and it's not really that hard. All you gotta do is buy these dividend stocks, the most popular dividend stocks, continue accumulating them. Don't try to time the market, just continue to buy each week, and you're gonna see your money go up 20% a year, at least 15% a year. And if inflation's 10% a year, you'll be doing better than inflation. If you leave your money at a bank, you might be getting 0.5% of interest rate. If you're getting 0.5% and inflation's 10% a year, your money is going to be not worth 9.5% less. And don't cross your fingers on the government doing the right thing anytime soon. They're lying, they're corrupt, and they're pretending that inflation's only 2%. Oh, no problem. Everything's as good as it was. Everything's great. America's thriving. That's what they're telling you in the news. That's completely not true. The homeless situation has skyrocketed. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. There's people out there that are making $60,000 a year living in their cars, and they're trying to tell you that everything's fine. Yeah, everything's fine when a loaf of bread starts costing $15. They'll still tell you it's fine. So you just have to do your own research and learn how to hedge against this. Quite honestly, the worst thing you could be doing is leaving your money in a bank. Do not leave your money in a bank. You want to either be buying crypto, buying dividend stocks. Real estate's risky, but even that would be a better thing. You know, people are panicking because there's no real safe place to put your money in. So I can't advise you on what is the most safe place to put your money in, but I can tell you it's not the bank. Because the money is getting more and more worthless each year. The government is lying, trying to pretend that it is not a problem, but it is a problem. The number one problem with Americans when they're surveyed, they say, what is the biggest worry on your mind? Everyone says inflation. Oh, everything's costs more. Price of everything's going up. That's the number one worry. You gotta really prepare for this. Try to make as much money as you can. Really hustle hard these next few years. And you wanna get your money into places where your money will go up in value, not lose value. Because if you have $1 million in a bank account, in 10 years, it might only be worth $300,000 as far as buying power goes. And that's the reality of it. Eventually, everybody's going to be a millionaire because $1 million will be worth 100 grand. So, oh yeah, everybody's a millionaire. Oh, what does $1 million get you? Oh, it doesn't even get you a house in the worst ghetto in Detroit. That's about to happen in America. I don't think it'll happen in the next 10 years, but unless they do something to fix it, it's eventually going to happen where $1 million is worth 100 grand. It might take 20, 30 years, but that's what's going to happen. If you continue to put your money in these stocks owned by these corporations, the government is going to do whatever they can do to bail out these corporations and make sure they go up 10 to 20% a year. You know, I don't like what's going on, but I'm going to ride the wave because I'm smart and I know what to do in times like this. You got to notice what's happening. Don't listen to the lies and just do your own research and figure out what you want to do about it. That's what I would say. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps the algorithm so YouTube pushes it to more people, and leave a comment below what you think about inflation and I'll make sure to respond to your comment. So have a great day and enjoy the rest of your week.